should we pursue, overtake, and recover all? And God said yes. And when God released that word, what took place? He went with a bunch of people, but in the end, when the battle actually took place, he only had a certain set of people. Right. Notice that when God takes you someplace, we always want to take people with us. But the thing is, everybody's not meant to fight the battle with you. Right. Everyone's not meant to go the whole distance with you. God shows you the people who have to be weeded out. Because there are people in our lives to enable us to build off that excuse. When we say blah, 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 they say, yeah, there are cheerleaders to say, okay, let me help you finish binding yourself. So now we got two people bound together because we got people in our life that are binding us and we're binding them, and now we're walking together in shackles. Wondering why nothing is productively happening in our lives because we're too busy enabling each other to be bound. Mm-hmm. So when God speaks, they say, well, I don't think that's God. So now if that's not God, then who's speaking? So then that means that as I constantly ignore God, because now I'm breaking laws, rules, and regulations. And when I'm breaking laws, rules, and regulations, what I'm doing is I'm having God step away, because he's like, look, you remember the scripture in Psalms, where he says, look, I'm going to step back and laugh at you because you've been ignoring me too long. Mm-hmm. Then we go over to Hosea, and Hosea said, my people perish. The text states how he says, I was saying, my people perish for lack of knowledge. But as we begin to climb up that whole thing, it started off on the 4th chapter, verse 1. It said, look, I got a thing with you because you're not listening to me. Mm-hmm. I asked you to do something, you're not doing it. And then as we go into the Message translation, say, look, I can't even tell the difference between the people I called and the people who are out there. Because the ones I called, they're just as worse as the ones that are out there. And so now my people are destroyed because they will not listen to me. They will not heed to what I'm saying. They will not sit down and get into my presence. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ignore your children when they call for me. So now your children are calling out to God and wondering why God is not answering. So now there has to be someone that come in and begin to know how to talk to God on the behalf of your children. Isn't that like that soldier, the centurion soldier we was talking about a couple of weeks ago? How he said, look, my servant is sick. Jesus said, let's go to the house. He said, no, we both men of authority. All you got to do is stay. While in the midst of the conversation, Jesus recognized that important authority of his faith. It wasn't just his authority, it was his faith, knowing that whatever Jesus said, he's going to believe it to the end. If Jesus said, go do this, he's going to go do it. He's going to do whatever Jesus said. So he's like, you know what, I like that faith. So in the process of them conversating, dialogue, what took place? A release took place. Right. So in the process of them conversating, the man was getting healed. The boss came on the behalf of his servant, on behalf of his employee, and that while he was talking to Jesus, his employee was healed. They didn't even talk about the employee's faith. Do he believe? They didn't say anything about that servant. All they know is that servant was feeling good by the time he got home. Sometimes when we go through that, we feel as if we get the instant healing. We need to just thank God because somebody went on my behalf so that I can be right here right now. Like that old song, somebody prayed for me. Right. Had me on their mind. My grandmother prayed, was a praying grandmother. She did this, she did this. If it wasn't for the prayers of somebody, where would I be? Think about all the different times. And I can think about all the many times that I faced death. Many times in different places that I shouldn't have been, places I was just walking down trying to get somewhere and someone mistaken me for somebody, or when they went through that phase where every gang wanted to just jump everybody. And I went through certain issues and I went through these things, but then I realized that not just because the call on my life, because somebody had something or said something, had some type of communication with God at some point in their lifetime. Either it was maybe a great-great-great-grandparent said, look, I just need you to bless my line. Okay? I need you to bless my line because I don't know what my line is going to look like, but I just need you to bless my line. Okay? So when we look at this thing and we come out and stop lying to ourselves and we say, you know what? I got to start living my life the right way. Right. I have to come out of religion into a relationship, because as long as I'm living in religion, I'm binding myself and I'm saying, well, God done this, God this, God this. And I don't have a relationship with God. How do I know God this and God that, God this, God that? Because most people base their relationship or religious based off God from what they see on television or what they hear in the pulpit.